Illini Basketball Podcast episode 147. I don't think the first half of that was English from me. Almost dropped the pen. All right. The comments in there right now that's on me. I definitely scheduled it for the wrong time at first, so it made people get the impression that it was, and I didn't change it until like 9:50, so that's not great. That's on me. So I'll take that blame.
Yeah, Crypto was here at 10. He said Pickett was in God mode, and Schlagboy said, well, shucks.
Yeah.
And then Crypto realized that it was at 2, and then we did it early, so he's going to be late. So sorry, Crypto.
Yeah, it's on us. It's on us. But yeah, before we get into the game and the loss, I just, the good old days of watch parties when Illinois didn't get blown out, like this is like maybe the biggest blowout in a watch party, with the exception of Missouri this year, probably. So, and this was a very frustrating one in the sense that,
I mean, you call it a blowout, but it was only a 12-point game.
But it was never close. I mean,
it wasn't. It
was like, even when it got to 9, they'd call some ticky-tack travel. But I'm just going to play this watch party video from last year just to show that it was a good time last year. And this year's kind of sucked for those, even though they've had some glorious moments, of course. But, I mean, beating Nebraska at home is not really an electric environment for the watch party.
Right.
Yeah, this video is funny, and if it blows out people's headsets, that's on me.
Turn your volume down just in case.
Well, yeah, good luck. It's similar opening to a 90s sitcom.
That's what I was like, is this Full House?
Makes people feel good. Yeah, so that's a good feeling to have before the game that we get into. And Illinois pretty much gave up 100 points.
Yeah, Penn State was unconscious, and Illinois didn't have an answer defensively. So, yeah, give up 53 in the first half, 40 in the second half. At least they won the second half, 41-40, right?
All right. Yeah, it's big news.
Electric. Hinkle likes it. All right. Player of the game. We both picked the same guy this time. So you didn't give him any love last time. Neither did I. So Ty Rodgers, 26 minutes. It's got to be his highest minutes this year, I would assume. I didn't really look, but
let me give that a once over.
I don't think he's played over 20 yet.
He played 18 in 3 straight. 18 minutes and 3 straight. This is his second most minutes played. He had 28 against Monmouth, really? 23 against Lindenwood, 21 against Alabama A&M. So it's his first 20-plus against a real opponent, I would say, because he had 20-plus in 5 games going in, but those were, like I said, Alabama A&M, Lindenwood, Monmouth, Kansas City, and Eastern Illinois. But this was his most effective 20-plus minute game for sure.
Absolutely. 5 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. So 50%, getting that percentage up. 11 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, only 1 turnover. So Ty Rodgers was very good on the defensive end, like usual. And he was very good offensively, which we've kind of seen that develop over the last few games. A little bit more aggressive than he has been in the previous times that he's played. So it's nice to see Ty Rodgers kind of making this jump. It's just, can everybody else do things when he makes this jump? I guess is the biggest thing. So, but yeah. Okay. Anything on Ty you want to say?
Unfortunate that he didn't go 100% from the field, I would say.
Yeah.
If he had a jumper, that would be pretty sweet, but maybe that'll come with time. Made a free throw, and I feel like
he needs a jumper, though. I mean,
yeah, but it'd be nice to have another, thing to go to, like a mid-range jumper.
Yeah,
and also he made a free throw, right? 1 for 2, and then I think his second free throw looked like a miss on purpose to me. He threw it off the right side of the rim, and it went right to Coleman. So it felt like a purposeful miss. I don't know.
Maybe that's what they're trying.
They were down like 9, so it was like, okay, you get us another possession, get it down to 6 maybe. But also, if anybody's going to take one for the team and miss a free throw on purpose and make their percentage worse, it should be him, because he is shooting. Let's give it a look.
What's he got to lose, right?
He is shooting 31% from the free throw line, 7 for 22. Not bad at all. but 54% from 2 and 0% from 3 because he's 0 for 1.
Yeah.
So not bad.
I mean, Illinois wasn't terrible offensively this game. The 3-point shooting was bad, like it has been.
When isn't it bad? I mean, 7 for 27, 26%. That's just what they are from 3, and I don't understand why they can't just – I mean, they were 64% from inside the 3-point line, 22 for 34 from 2. That's what they are. Like, they're elite from that area. And from 3, I mean, when was the last game that they really truly shot like a good percentage? 25% against Rutgers, 31% against Iowa, which it's not that bad given the standards for this team, 17% against Nebraska, 30% against Wisconsin, 17% against Ohio State. I mean, most of these are wins too. The last time that they shot, I would say, an elite above average percentage from 3 was Indiana, 42%, 8 for 19, and they lost that game by 15. So kind of tells you that even in an era of basketball where the 3 is, as important as ever, I don't know if it's really that case in the college landscape than it is in the NBA, but so you're just looking at the 3-point percentages and you see that the last time that they shot above 30% or above 31% from 3 was Indiana, and they lost by 15, and it was 42%. Other than that, it's been very low. They've had 3 or 4 games. I just went over the percentages, 3 or 4 games under 20% from 3 that they won like handily. Like Ohio State, Nebraska, both of those games.
And Brad, they shot 25.9. I'm sure he probably already said that, but Brad said we shot horrendously from 3, so that didn't help either. And their average is 31%. So that's literally making one more 3. How about not take 27?
They missed 12 twos, 22 for 34 from 2.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to at some point just start completely going into that and being like, okay, we'll shoot under 23s and just get the ball inside because we have a number of guys that can score. A perfect example of that is Jaden Epps, who is 6 for 6 from 2 and 0 for 7 from 3.
Right. Yeah. And that's
that's your point guard.
Yeah.
That's your guard.
I don't know. I understand that, Illinois, sometimes you gotta take 3s, but Jaden Epps was struggling from 3. So there were some that you're just like, stop. When Illinois kind of got it within, 6, 8, whatever it was, it just seemed like they just kept coming down and chucking up 3s. And nobody was good from 3. So I don't know what
RJ Melendez.
RJ Melendez, he's back.
100% from 3.
Turning the season around. So, but yeah, Terrence Shannon, 35 minutes. He was 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Got most of his points from the line, 9 of 10 from the free throw line for 20 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He had 2 turnovers, and he fouled out of the game. So
he was okay. I mean, I don't know. Not his field goal percentage was a lot better as the game went on. He started off pretty bad.
Yeah.
Made free throws. He got that going for him. And I mean,
that's what he does.
Just not. I mean, I don't really want him taking 5 threes anymore. I think 3 is about right.
I don't think anybody except for Matthew Myers should take over 5 threes on this.
Probably correct. Well, if Luke Goody ever gets into form, you watch back. He could take 10.
That's true. Yeah. Coleman, another guy that he shot 6 threes, 2 of 6 from 3. Played 35 minutes, 5 of 12 from the field, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. I mean, that's I don't think anybody just had like a terrible game, except defensively, Illinois could not get stops. Brad talked about how they missed 20. Illinois missed 20 shots in the first half and had 1 offensive rebound. So those are the things that kind of killed Illinois here. No second chances. And it just seemed like Penn State, hand in the face, they had a lot of open, layups too, but hand in the face, they were making everything. They kind of let Pickett get going with 2 early 3s, and you get Pickett feeling good, you're in trouble. So Matthew Meyer, 31 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 5 from the line, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Had the patented fouled on a 3. I think he made 1 of them.
Yeah, he did.
So Meyer, I told you if Meyer was on Pickett, it was not going to be pretty. And Meyer just kind of fell for a little jab step, and Pickett went around him. But nobody could lock up Pickett. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's double teaming him.
I think it's probably relying on the fact that he's not going to make every shot.
Yeah, you got to hope that he doesn't go 15 of 20 from the field. So I don't know. It's got to be what'd you say that he only made 2 threes? Is the most he's made all game?
Yeah, he hadn't been making a lot of threes. Like he hadn't had this many threes in a game for I think the entire season. Yeah. I think he's more of a 2-point. Like, yeah, his most threes in a game for the season, he had 3 against Purdue and 3 against Winthrop.
Yeah.
And then he has 5 against Illinois, and probably could have easily been like 7 or 8 for 9.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, definitely could have. Epps played 30 minutes, 6 of 13. Like you said, 0 of 7 from 3, missed all his threes. 12 points, 1 rebound. He didn't have any turnovers, so that was good. You could tell that Epps didn't want to guard Pickett on the switches. He did stop him once, but there were 2 other times where one of them he just kind of gave up. And Illinois went back into that switching defense that we saw, earlier in the season, and that obviously wasn't the answer because
I don't think that
Danger would be on him.
They're not going to do that again.
Yeah, Underwood said, I got it down here somewhere, but he said something about that's just what they force you to do is to switch a lot. So yeah, I don't think it's coming back. I think that's just
if teams want to beat Illinois,
way to try to stop them.
If teams want to beat Illinois, then they should try to get them to switch all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's
easy win.
That is the way to do it. Dane, 18 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field. He did make all 3 free throws, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. He couldn't play that much because they were switching. When he was on Pickett, it was not pretty. And I don't know why Illinois relied so highly on him switching off to Pickett. I know that, they aren't supposed to do that when Dane's in the game, no matter what. And they were doing it in this game. So I don't know. Brad was asked if he just didn't have it today. And he said, yeah, quote, Brad said, quote, yeah, along with a lot of other dudes. I think the biggest problem is why is Illinois' offense running Dane off the elbow? Like he is receiving the ball on the elbow more than he is in the post. This is a game. Dane was my player to watch. This is a game that Dane should have been able to dominate, and he just.
The one big that they have is a freshman, and Illinois wasn't even trying to force the ball inside. They were just giving it to him on the elbow, handoffs, taking a left-handed 10-footer. I mean, it's just so stupid.
Yeah, left-handed 10 can't make free throw, but he did this game. But left-handed 10-footer is probably not the shot for him. Sincere, 13 minutes, 0 for 1, just 1 3 that he shot, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. I thought this was probably Sincere's worst game.
He played. That's
Yeah, but he was on Clary, and Clary, I mean, kind of took advantage of him. It looked like so. It just Illinois defensively looked dead from the start, and I get that when teams are making everything, it's kind of hard to get in a rhythm and get up, but they got to find a way. Your boy Luke Goody went 10 minutes, so he doubled his time from last game. 1 of 2 from 3, 3 points, 1 rebound.
Not bad.
Not bad. I'll take it. Melendez, 3 minutes, 1 of 1. It was the 3 at the end of the game. 3 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. I didn't understand why Underwood decided to play him in the last minute or 2 minutes of the first half, because he got in and Clary just went right by him.
Yeah, he got beat twice defensively in 3 minutes. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It was just, I feel like that's a rough spot to throw somebody in.
Yeah.
When you're reeling already. So, but again, offensively, the team wasn't bad. 7 of 27 from 3, brutal. But that's Illinois. If they shoot over 20, they haven't, They don't shoot them at a great clip, so I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Out-rebounded them.
Yeah.
Out-assisted them.
Yeah.
Had same amount of blocks, more blocks, more steals, more offensive rebounds, obviously, which is always the case against Penn State. And also 16 for 20 from the free throw line, so one more free throw than them. The difference, they shot 43% from three. Illinois shot 26. They shot 72% from two. They were 21 for 29 from two. And Illinois was good, but not good enough. 1.31 points per possession for Penn State. That's a tough spot there. I don't think.
It was like 1.5 in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, you look at Penn State's previous games going into this games that they lost, 1.06 against Maryland, 1.09 against Wisconsin, 1.02 against Nebraska, 1.02 against Purdue. I mean, 1.3. They did it against Michigan State when they beat them. Michigan when they beat them. Other than that, it's just you can't let a team go. Like Rutgers held them to 0.73 points per possession. So it's like it's doable.
Yeah.
But obviously Illinois, Jalen Pickett must just hate Illinois for something. I don't know. Maybe he does.
Yeah. I don't know. This is now the fourth guy that has had a season high against Illinois. Pickett, of course, with 41, TJJ with his 35, Tony Perkins with his 32, and Kobe Brown with 31. So either everybody just gets really good against Illinois or Illinois doesn't know how to stop a guy that's hot.
4 losses right there is what I see.
Yeah.
I also see like bigger guards. Like Perkins is pretty big. Kobe Brown, I guess you could say he's a 3, but I think in the pros he's a 2. So he's pretty much a guard. Yeah. TJJ is the anomaly. They're out of the 4, but like bigger, bulkier guards that Illinois doesn't really have an answer for because I don't think Shannon's going to check those guys. And obviously Epps is a little bit smaller, so not great. I think you need to rely on Coleman to try to frustrate them with the length. It just hasn't worked, and they really haven't tried it except they tried it against Pickett. He wasn't going to guard Perkins.
Right.
So.
Yeah, again, everybody tried guarding Pickett. Nothing worked. I felt like the lineup of Hawkins, Meyer, Epps, Shannon, and Rogers is one that I'd never want to see again. I feel like those are the 5 ISO ball guys that we have on this team. Every time they'd get the ball, it just kind of stopped, and it was like make a play. There was one time where they actually were passing the ball, and then they passed so much they passed up 3 open looks. So they got to find a balance between one-on-one and not overpassing.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a spot there. So they let's see what else I got here. Underwood was asked if Penn State forced them to do the switching, and Underwood said, yeah, that's their whole deal. That's why they are really hard to guard and hard to play little guards. Our debate all week was, do we put Jaden or Sincere on Dredd or the big guy? Imagine that conversation. Let's put Sincere on their center because you are forced to switch. Funk is an elite screener, and then he blurs a lot, and they force you to handle that switch. The 3 times we didn't, he shot naked layups. But
let's put Sincere Harris on 234-pound Miles Dredd, who's a power forward.
I know. Can you imagine? He said, "Yeah, they do as much guard-on-guard screening because of Pickett than anybody in the country. When you can keep the ball all night and never give it up, and if you blitz him, he passes out. I think they were one of the best teams in the country and lowest turnover rate in double teams. So that's Underwood's excuse for not doubling. It's because they don't turn the ball over when you do.
They are the best team in the country.
I mean,
that number one.
I get it. So yeah, in Underwood went on this rant again about how guys can hold the ball for 20 seconds, and how the NBA doesn't allow that, and how the NCAA needs to look into it because Pickett can just back you down for 20 seconds and you can't guard it. He literally said, quote, "You can't guard him. They probably would have beaten the Celtics tonight."
Okay. The top 3 teams in turnover percentage on offense are 3 teams that are not good. Penn State number 1, they're good compared to these teams. Notre Dame is number 2.
Really?
And folks, Notre Dame is 2-13 in the ACC, and Wisconsin is number 3, and they're 7-8 in the Big Ten. So it doesn't even matter, I guess, would be my thoughts. I mean, Oral Roberts is 4th. They're pretty good. NC State's okay. They're 5th. Iowa's 6th. Michigan's up there. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that Brad didn't say, "I don't care about Pickett's 41, but Seth Lundy's 15 killed us."
Yeah.
So
Where do
one of those.
Where do you think Illinois ranks in offensive turnover percentage out of the 363 teams in America?
342.
229th.
Okay, not as bad as
Pretty
I
good.
thought.
Pretty good.
Not as bad as I thought. I thought
They're
they'd be in the
307th in 3-point percentage, so they got that going.
Good. Turn the ball over and can't shoot threes. That's,
they were 56th last year, by the way.
Definition of making a run. So
56th last year.
Yeah. So again, team's hot. I don't know what you're gonna do. Underwood's post game. I got like 3 here, I think. Like he said, he opened up with, quote, "They're good. I have said it all along. I like Shrew's team, and they're old. They execute. They have a great offense. And when you don't show up to play with much bite and much fight, this is what happens in the Big Ten. You have an off night, get it to 6 or 7 or 8, and then we foul." So it seemed like Illinois just could never close the gap. And a lot of that is, stupid plays, travels, some missed calls kind of ruin flow. But, you can't give up 93 and beat anybody, is the way I feel. He said, quote, "Pickett is tremendous. We let him walk into 2 threes to start the game, let him get into a rhythm, and let him feel good. We did everything we said we weren't going to do or try to do." So good game plan, bad execution, Brad says. He said he talked about the missed shots. Like I said, 20 missed shots in the first half, 1 offensive rebound. So that will tell you where our effort and our mental capacity was today. I guess that's why we saw Ty Rodgers for so long. He had four offensive rebounds, 4 of the 7. So Underwood ended with, quote, "Can't dwell on it. We have 5 games in 9 days with the COVID game." So he's bringing that up already. If you think I want to not get home and get rest, we've got Indiana, Minnesota on Monday, and then Northwestern. We can't dwell on it. Because I guess he came out and said, "I didn't say much to the guys. I said, pack up. We need to get home and rest." So they were asking about that. But
I think it's 4 games in 9 days. That's a lie.
Oh, well, maybe I misheard him.
Because it would be 5 and 12 days if you count the Penn State game. But if you go from Indiana to Ohio State, that's 4 games.
Okay.
What's the last day of the month?
Brad's a liar. 28th? It's February, right?
Yeah, so he just straight up lied to everybody's face.
Nice job, Brad.
Go 3-1 in this stretch, and you're back to feeling okay. It's certainly not going to happen tomorrow, so you got to go 3 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so now we get Indiana off a loss. So
that doesn't matter.
Good stuff. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I mean, okay. Indiana off of a loss this year. They had a 3-game losing streak and a 2-game losing streak. So nice try.
Yeah, and we get to find out if Brad actually can lose 2 in a row because he hasn't done that all year.
It's very true. I think he can.
That.
I think he can.
That. Yeah, I can tell by your score prediction here.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler
Certainly.
alert.
All right, Illinois, 11 a.m. ESPN tomorrow, Saturday, 17-8, 8-6 in the Big Ten. Now are the Illini. They're at number 14, which they'll drop anyway. Indiana, 18-8, 9-6 in the Big Ten. Indiana almost came back at Northwestern on Wednesday, but they lost on a boo-booey offensive foul that was uncalled.
And I love Indiana and Purdue fans that tell every Illinois fan that they're crying about the refs, that they've been crying about the refs all week. So good job, Indiana.
Imagine crying about the refs when you get obliterated by Maryland. And people think that I was complaining about the refs from this Penn State game, which I was not. I was literally just saying certain ways that they call this game completely interrupting the flow.
It does, yeah.
Or the inconsistency, such as like,
and I feel like that happens to Illinois a lot. Like it just.
I think it's part of it is just the way Illinois plays.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's the ref's fault. I like turnovers, things like that, add into there too. But
I mean, somebody got called for just a terrible travel. Like it wasn't a travel.
Sincere.
That. Yeah, that's just terrible.
Sincere. That was an awful call. They don't ever call that.
And then they let Pickett be as physical as he wants, but if somebody on the defensive end checks him, then they're going to get a foul call on him. That's just a complaint. I'm not saying that Illinois would have won because they wouldn't have. But
Mark says it was a great game until tip-off.
Yep. Similar to this Illini game tomorrow. Indiana's 3-2 in their last 5, but they're 8-2 in their last 10. TJJ has 20-plus points in 7 of his last 9. They turned the ball over 14 times at Northwestern. Northwestern only turned it over 4 times. Like that's a big factor. I think Northwestern is like the opposite of what like Ohio State is. Like Ohio State probably should have more wins than 3 in the Big Ten. They haven't played well as of late, but there were earlier games in the year that they should have won. And Northwestern has been winning some games that they probably shouldn't win.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Northwestern, but I hope they take it that way because, screw them. But yeah, I think that's kind of, I think it'd be absolutely hilarious if Northwestern won the Big Ten. That would be hilarious. And I honestly kind of hope it happens. That would be very funny because Northwestern has a 0% chance of getting to the Sweet 16, by the way, just a 0% chance. I don't care who they're playing. They're going to get exposed by somebody and they're not going to, they've been relying a lot on their home floor.
Yeah.
And,
to get Purdue and Indiana at home.
Yeah.
Especially once you beat Purdue, you're feeling as good as you can. So
and they have one like legitimately really good road win, I think, in the Big Ten this year.
And they were up 19 against Indiana, and Indiana had a chance to win that in the end. So,
but like on the road in the Big Ten this year, they beat Indiana. Sure, good win. That's a good win. Even though it was Indiana early January when Indiana was not good. They lost at Michigan. They won at Nebraska. They won at Wisconsin, at Ohio State, lost at Iowa. So I'm not going to act like Northwestern is some sort of juggernaut. I mean, their metrics aren't good either, so suck on that. Indiana, though.
Yeah. Who's Illinois playing?
Indiana,
right?
Indiana 9-6 in the Big Ten. Illinois takes on the Northwestern Wildcats on February 26th. 6th, yeah. That'll be an interesting game.
23rd,
certainly.
23rd.
23rd, because they're at Ohio State, then at home against Michigan. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Indiana projected starting lineup. You got Hood Schifino at the 1.66 freshman, 4 turnovers at Northwestern.
Wow.
Really went into great detail with these players here. Trey Galloway at the 2, 6'4". He was fouled by Boo Booey on the final possession at Northwestern. He got shoved into the first row as a ridiculous missed call.
Yeah,
I'm all for not ending or calling stuff like that, but look at the Super Bowl, number 1. Number 2, that was blatant.
When it's that blatant.
Full extension.
Yeah, and when you he literally pushed him 4 feet. So
and it's Boo Booey. This is not some All-American guard that we're supposed to care about. This guy's
what do you mean?
He's tricking everybody into thinking he's good.
Who said that? Andy Katz called Boo Booey an All-American, I think.
Oh my God.
Or maybe he just called him all big. No, maybe I can't. I got.
If he said All-American, just fold the entire thing.
I gotta look it up.
You can be an All-American. Like that's the dumbest thing about all these awards and shit. It's like you can play well for 2 months out of like 5 months of the season, and then you're an All-American. Like, come on, give me a break. And I don't care about the empty stats that he compiled against like Brown or one of those opponents. Insane. Miller Kopp at the 3, 6'7", 1 for 6 from the field against Northwestern. And then you got Race Thompson's back at the 4, 6'8". Didn't play against Illinois. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 5 for 5 from the field at Northwestern. And then you got TJJ 6'9". Enough said. All-American. You could make an argument for him as the Big Ten Player of the Year. I don't think it'll happen, but I think that's the only other guy you can make an argument for behind Edey. Maybe if Indiana closes out and wins like every game and Purdue loses a couple more and Edey has a couple bad games and TJJ keeps putting up 20 and 15, maybe there's a chance. I think that the narrative matters so much, though, that it's kind of already – it's similar to Io and Garza. Like, Garza was the guy for 4 months. He wasn't going to lose it at the last minute. I'm not saying that I don't think Io deserved it anyway, but it's kind of how it works.
Sorry. Andy Katz said Boo Booey making a push for first team All Big Ten.
Where does he rank in Big Ten guards this year? He's probably top 5, but I have trouble believing that he's an All Big Ten first team guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think you have Pickett as a lock for one of the guard spots.
Yeah.
It is kind of weak after that, so I guess Jameer Young probably would be a good case right there, right? I mean, Jameer Young has been excellent for Maryland. He had 20 against Purdue, 18 against Penn State, 17 against Michigan State, 14 against Minnesota, 20 against Indiana, 18 against Nebraska, 22 against Wisconsin, 26 against Michigan, 30 against Ohio State. 20 against Iowa. I think it's probably Young and Pickett first team right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So nice try there, everybody.
Good try, Andy Katz.
Boo Booey. Give me a break with this guy. No way. Why? Because he's gone 2 for 11 from 3 in the last 2 games. That's elite for a guard, and he lives the free throw line. Like lives there. He's shooting 5+ free throws almost every game.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Really tore it up. Really tore it up against the Illini. 2 for 13 from the field. 11 of his 15 points on free throws. That's all Big Ten first team if I've ever seen it. All right, we've pretty much done a Northwestern versus Indiana versus Illinois hybrid here. Ken Palm.
Got them all together.
Illinois is 46th in adjusted offense, Indiana 23rd. Adjusted defense, Illinois 28th, Indiana 36th. Tempo, Illinois 64th, Indiana 142. And overall, Illinois 24th, Indiana 20th. Yeah, so. What's this comment here?
You're going to love it. Piper made an argument yesterday for Boo and Audige as the best backcourt in the league. I mean, they're definitely the most seasoned.
Nobody in the
league, they can
league,
come back next year. That's what's crazy.
Nobody in the Big Ten really has like
a backcourt, yeah.
Two
backcourt.
Yeah, like if Donald Carey would do anything, then I would probably say it's Maryland. I think Purdue, even though they're freshmen, they've both been really good. They've both been among the best freshmen in the country. Illinois' backcourt is a joke, but it's not bad actually. If the backcourt is Epps and Shannon, it's, statistically it's pretty good. But yeah. I think Audige is a much better player than Boo Booey because he actually, defensively and a little bit more consistent. I think. I think maybe it's just like the Big Ten backcourts are so average. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like if Indiana had Hood Schifino and Xavier Johnson healthy, then it's probably Indiana.
That's true.
Michigan State has a decent backcourt. Tyson Walker makes big shots. AJ Hogard. It's just as the kids say, there's a lot of mid in the Big Ten this year, as the kids are as they're saying. If Michigan, if they were healthy, Kobe Buffkin is terrific, and Doug McDaniel's young and kind of small, so I guess that's kind of an issue there. But you could make an argument for them as the best backcourt, but I don't really know if that's true. Boo Booey sucks. All right. Players to watch.
I went with Jaden Epps coming off the 0 for 7 from 3. He's got to get he's got to get to the basket a little bit more, kind of try to bring TJJ out. So he can, I'd like to see him dump it off a little bit against Indiana. And I want to see his defense against Hood Schifino because he's a great freshman also. And I think Epps can be just as good. So, and then I picked Miller Kopp because Tracy Jackson Davis, TJJ, as we call him, he's not a player to watch. We know he's going to get 32, and that's not what's going to beat you. And I believe Geronimo's hurt or he's coming off injury. So he only played 4 minutes against Northwestern. So I couldn't pick him. So I picked Kopp. You got to limit his threes. TJJ is one of the best passing bigs in the Big Ten or the mid 10, if that's what we want to call it now.
A little bit too old for that.
Okay. So Jaden Epps, Miller Kopp, you don't pick TJJ because he's going to get 35 regardless.
I would almost argue that TJJ goes 20 for 22 from the field with like 47 points. I think that's what we're looking at here. I'm going Matthew Meyer because I think in a road game, you're going to need him to hit some of those threes. If he hits at least like 3 or 4, Like if he plays like he did against Wisconsin or Iowa, would certainly help. Then I'm going with Tamar Bates as my guy for Indiana because
I think you picked him last game.
he's been inconsistent, but he's torched some teams from three. Like if Illinois is going to double TJJ, which they probably won't, if they're going to do that, he's going to have to kick to open shooters. And Tamar Bates has torched teams doing that.
Yeah.
Now, he hasn't done it in a while. I mean, he had 17 against Michigan State, and then he's had a bunch of up and down, struggling type
He went
games.
0 for 3 against Illinois the first time.
Yeah, I did do my research on that.
I know
0 for 5 from the field against Michigan, 0 for 2 from the field against Northwestern, 1 for 1 from the field against Rutgers. He's made 2 shots in his last 4 games. He's probably going to make like 10 threes in this game because why the hell not? Now, do you want to employ, and I'll give Chris Collins credit, his defensive game planning in the Big Ten has been very good. Do you want to employ that strategy of doubling bigs from anywhere?
Yes, I think you have to double TJJ because I think that he gets a little flustered when you double him. I don't know if Illinois will do it though.
I think they will.
I just
they've beaten TJJ 3 or 4 times without doubling him.
Right.
And
right.
Brad would be like, well, look at the models there, the percentages. I mean, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, they're trying to stop threes, and that's Indiana only had 9 threes in that 80-65 blowout. So good thing they limited those threes.
Yep,
but
pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if Brad does anything other than like I don't think they practice any sort of zone. I don't think that he does anything other than you either fight over screens or you switch everything. So against Penn State, I would have loved to see him press a little bit, try to quicken the game up, let Penn State score 120. I don't care.
But, yeah, that made no sense to me. The fact that they just let Penn State get in their half-court offense every single time.
Yeah.
And just burn clock.
Yeah. So I don't think Brad is going to double TJJ, but I'd like to see it. He did it. I think he did it one time the last game, right? And he even said, "Oh, we tried it." Like you tried it once, Brad. Come on, dude. And shout out to Zachary Perrine, whatever he is, Frenchman. Yeah. See you later. He's gone. We talked about it on the watch party. I didn't really talk about it on here because who cares? But the Indiana game was his Illinois debut. So
wow, a legend. Jesus,
legend.
I mean, I just honestly, I don't give a damn about the narrative with him. But I do think it's kind of annoying if you're Illinois that you invested that much time and money, especially Jeff Alexander, into a player and then he just leaves because he's not playing. Like, did he expect to play? Like, if he expected to play, then whoever's telling him that is an idiot.
I think he expected to make more money, is what I think.
Okay.
I honestly do. Like, I think he's going to go over there, be a pro, make his money, whatever.
And we'll never see him again.
Because it was really weird because 3 days before he said sayonara, they put out a video of, dedicated to the process and all this. So they were trying to get his name out there because he apparently wasn't happy. So I don't know. Go make your money, kid.
I don't know, but Rory just chunked a shot in the 9th and got it real close. I wish I could do that. All right, predictions.
Yeah, the on purpose chunk. That's
he didn't look like he was doing it on purpose.
That's how I play the game. I'm going to stick to my guns, even though I hated after the Northwestern loss for Indiana. I predicted this in the countdown to March Madness that Illinois would be the upset. I actually was going to pick the Northwestern upset, but I'm like, no, I don't want Indiana coming off a loss playing Illinois. So I picked the Illinois upset, but I got 72-68 ILL.
Yeah, I'm going to take it a different direction. This will be the highest margin loss picked in the history of the podcast. I'm taking Indiana 85, Illinois 61. I think it's going to be worse than the first time. I think that TJJ is going to have at least 47 points. No, he's going to have at least 25, probably 20 rebounds. Hood Schifino will probably be just doing what Pickett does, which is hitting every mid-range shot and a couple threes. He'll probably have 18 to 20. I'm sure Miller Kopp will make 3 or 4 threes. It's going to be disgusting and it's going to be annoying. And I think we need to start bracing ourselves for the fact that this team might be like an 8 or a 9 seed.
9 seed, yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, maybe it'll be better that way. I don't know. I mean, if you run into a 1 seed Or if you're a 1 seed in round 2 and you're playing an Elite 8 seed, you get a little scared. If you're a 4 seed and you got to play a 5 seed who's better than a 5 seed, then you're also a little bit scared there.
Yeah.
So maybe if they end up playing like, even though I think Houston would probably kill them again, but maybe not. Honestly, I think Illinois against Alabama would be their best matchup out of the 1 seeds. And you know why? Because Alabama is young. And if you can let Brandon Miller only drop like 20 on you, maybe you can beat him in round 2. But this is the great episode of getting way far ahead of ourselves. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
That's right. We don't do that.
We need to start bracing ourselves for the fact that this team could end up being like 10-10 in the Big Ten. Like there's a chance. Yeah. There's 4 more losses on that schedule potentially. And I think it starts with this one. And then I think, Northwestern, Ohio State, Michigan, Purdue, they could lose any of those games. We don't know. It's going to be, we're going to see because Brad Underwood's
if they lose to Ohio State, don't even let them in.
Well, that's a road game, a lot of talent.
Who has a lot of talent?
Ohio State.
He's got beat by 30 to Iowa.
That doesn't mean they don't have a lot of talent.
Sure. Bergie says Zach signed as a pro. I think he signed with an agent. I haven't seen that he actually signed with a team, but
Ohio State has 2 or 3 NBA guys, so there's definitely talent there. They just suck.
Good. You're
Illinois, using the talent word like they're good. That doesn't. They're literally they've lost 1 billion games here.
Are you happy that Minnesota got moved in between these 2 games so you don't lose 3 in a row?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So of course Illinois winning, unless you're Ethan and you're negative. So let's go around the mid 10.
Maybe the team should show me that they don't suck. How about that?
I hope they do. How
many games they have left? 6, right? The last 2 years before this one, Brad Underwood 4-2 in the last 6 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the year before that, they went 5-1 in the last 6. And then the year before that, with the COVID year, they went 5-1. So in the last 3 years before this one, in the final 6 games of the season, they are 14-4. So historically, good. This team feels like a lot different than those teams. Like the fact they're 17-8 right now might be a miracle given some of the flaws that this team clearly has.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer on board for the Elite 8 Final 4 ceiling. I think the ceiling is Sweet 16. I think they'd be lucky to get there.
Thank you.
And I think a lot of the teams in the country this year show, with the exception of a few, you need to be old. I think Epps and Rogers sticking around will be very, very important. Probably the most important thing of this offseason is that. Not who they bring in from the portal, even though it would be nice to bring in like a junior or a senior who's big talent. I don't know if it'd be from a power or a mid-major. But being old would certainly help.
You think Coleman's going regardless, right?
I don't see why he wouldn't. He's not TJJ. TJJ could have gone twice probably by now, and he hasn't gone.
Yeah. Coleman seems like the guy that wants to be a first-round pick.
If he stays, I would welcome it if he wants to stay here because that's a senior.
Yeah.
And you know what you're going to get, and you probably need somebody at that spot next year anyway. So
Brandon Lieb, senior next year, right? Or is he a senior this year? Get him on the court.
He's a junior. I think he's going to the draft, though.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Sky Clark is back in the gym. So how about that?
Sky Clark is back in the gym.
Coming back
for
the stretch run?
I don't think he comes back to Illinois at all.
Probably not, no. I would say there's a 1% chance. Okay, around the Big Ten, Purdue loses again 68-54 and really wasn't that close at Maryland. Purdue's lost 3 of 4 now, I believe. Are all 3 of those on the road? I think they are. At Northwestern, at right. Indiana, at Maryland. And their one win in that spot was home against Iowa, I believe. So
yeah, they've had a lot of court stormings against them lately.
Kind of a tough schedule, yeah.
So
and it really highlights the overall idea or the overall thing in college basketball that where nobody can hold on in the top 2 spots.
I sent you that thing. The number 1 team's been beat 8 times this year.
I hate it so much.
And it's the most since 1997.
Yeah, maybe even having like 3 or 4 teams. That's all. That's all cute and stuff. But like Jesus, it's just it's
there's
too
not
much.
a dominant team this year. I mean,
Which is expected with how much turnover and difference in rosters and how much better some of the other schools or smaller schools have gotten. But like Jesus, I still think Houston, Alabama, UCLA, clear-cut top 3 to me. I'm not going to budge from that. I think Alabama's the best team in the country. I'm not going to budge from that.
You're not going to put Purdue in there, huh?
They're like 5th.
Okay.
I think I put Kansas 4th.
Okay.
And then maybe, did you watch Gonzaga last night? They might be back.
I did not watch them, but I saw they were up 40 at halftime.
They won by 43 to a team that they lost to.
But they were up 40-something at halftime, right?
That's the dumb thing about Gonzaga.
How are you up 40 at halftime? What was the score? 60-20?
They 68 to 28.
At half?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
They lost to Loyola Marymount at home and then go on the road there and beat them by 43. That's just Jesus. Yeah, if Julian Strother has 30, you're dead. Because he's like the 3rd option, maybe 2nd option for this team. Yeah. You're dead if he has 30.
Yeah.
If you get beat by 43 and Timmy has 13 and 6, goodbye. Yeah, Gonzaga's back. They're in the top 9 for me, no doubt. But in terms of the Big Ten, the Big Ten is so average. Like, I don't think any team in the Big Ten. I think Indiana is the best chance of a Final Four. Honestly, I do.
Yeah. How many? What's your over/under teams that make the Sweet 16 out of the Big Ten?
Half.
Half the teams? So 4?
No, 0.5.
Oh, half a team. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well. I think I'd probably take. I think at least 1 does, maybe 2. I think it depends if Michigan wins the Big Ten tournament, they'll probably get to the Elite 8.
That's true.
So that's something to think about. Michigan State, maybe. They're pretty old. I think oldness matters. Oldness, that's a beautiful term. But yeah, Maryland quietly has the 2nd best metrics in the Big Ten. I believe they're 15th overall in the country on KenPom right now, which that's 5 spots ahead of Indiana. That's 9 spots ahead of Illinois. And I believe that's 12 spots ahead of Rutgers. And I don't know how many spots. Iowa might be 3rd, actually. I think nope, never mind. Iowa's 32nd, and they're behind Michigan State. So yeah, Maryland. I think Maryland's good. I don't know. Not surprising that they went from an 8-0 start to being 12-7, but now they're 18-8. They have won 6 of 7, including wins over Indiana and Purdue. And I might as well say they did beat Penn State, which Illinois can't do. 1 loss in that time is Michigan State. All right, you know what, Bergie?
Tip of the cap to Tyler and cap tip to Ethan. Cap tip.
I don't know if I even want to go there. I think I already went there enough.
Yeah, you went
watch
there
party
enough,
with Warner being an absolute dork saying cap tip. Give me a break.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
if you think we didn't do the game enough, like if we didn't, usually we talk for a while about the game, but we did watch party. If you want to see our instant reaction while crap was happening, while the bus was flaming out of control, going off the cliff, you can watch that back. So
yeah, and we probably got 1 or 2 regular season watch parties left, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so.
Probably 1. Yeah, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I do want to see if we can figure out how to do a Big Ten tournament watch party, maybe for like multiple games, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we need to get equipment, apparently.
Well, I'm working on it.
Send us your monies, everybody.
Do a little 8-hour marathon for 4 games. Anyway, that would be hell. Maybe not.
Subathon.
It probably would.
Warner offered Pickett another cap tip on his tulip, but no, he didn't. Did he say cap tip?
God, so annoying. It really is so annoying. And it shouldn't be, but yeah, I also wrote Ohio State's 3-12, so cap tip to them for that.
Yeah, good work.
And
they got a lot of talent, though.
They do. Bryce Sensabaugh will be. Even though I do think that I don't know if Holtman's doing it on purpose, but it certainly seems to me like he's tanking Sensabaugh's draft stock. So yeah. Let's see. Recent bracketologicals.
Okay.
Lenardi, who Bill Walton said was what did he say? Let me see if I can find it.
He called him a troll, I think.
Yeah, a troll with no respect for the the Pac-12 sucks this year, so whatever. And I love that
if it was up to Bill Walton, like the Pac-12 championship would just be the national championship.
Yeah. And he said that on the Pac-12 network. He didn't have the balls to say it on the Big Ten or the ESPNs.
ESPN.
This is Today bracketology from Lenardi, the troll who has no respect for the Conference of Champions. Number 1 overall seed, still Alabama, which that's right. That's the right move. Last 4 in, which is just unbelievable to me that these are the last 4 into him. And this is why this guy is so overrated. Kentucky. That's a tournament team.
Huh?
North Carolina. Sure, I guess, barely. Wisconsin? What about Wisconsin says tournament team? They're terrible. That's what it says. And then Clemson, who is, 11-5 in the ACC?
Yeah.
It's just one of those years. Nothing's going to make sense. And then he has Charleston as a first 4 out team with no logo. Doesn't have a logo next to him. No respect. So, yeah, Wisconsin is an 11. Indiana as a 5. Iowa as a 6. Purdue as a 1. Maryland is a 7. Illinois is a 6, going downward. Rutgers is an 8. Northwestern is a 6. Michigan State is a 7. So 9 Big Ten teams he has in. 9.
That seems a little much.
I mean, what are we doing here? The 4 conferences, the top 4 conferences and bids, according to Lenardi, are all ESPN packaged broadcasts. Anything there, you think? Like ESPN does Big 12 games the most. Right. I would say they do SEC and ACC and then the Big 10. Yeah. All 4 of those, they have seven bids in the ACC and the SEC, which is just insane to me. There's no way you can't tell me that some of this isn't influenced by the fact that he works for ESPN.
I mean, yeah, I agree. What do you want me to say?
Mountain West, 3 teams.
Says how many people would you guess the field of 68 has on payroll? I don't 15? Have any idea. I don't know.
What's your definition of a random? Like John Henson or something? Played in North Carolina, played in the NBA, good player, quality ball player. A lot of terrible coaches on there, like LaVall Jordan and Chris Mack. Those guys are terrible coaches, but they're not coaching. So Purdue's still a 1 seed. I don't know what they would have to do to drop. I mean, maybe UCLA is the team that could take them over.
Yeah.
But I think he might have Purdue as the number 3 overall 1 seed.
It looks like it.
Yeah. So, Lenardi, I think he has heavily influenced bracketology, which is why he's an overrated troll.
It's true.
I want to compare bracket Dom here. So it's not he. Okay, so let's see. Lenardi has 9 in the Big 10, 8 in the Big 12, and then 7 each in the ACC and SEC. I'd like to compare that to bracket Dom, who doesn't appear to have any biases on the surface. Second overall bracketologist in the last 4 years. Okay, so he has much different picture being painted here. So 8 in the Big 10, that's 1 less. 8 in the Big 12, which is fine. Most have that. That's 1. 6 in the ACC, so that's 1 less. And 7 in the SEC. So it's not that big of a difference, but also, I mean, 9 in the Big 10 is absurd and shouldn't happen. The ACC with 6, I think, is a bit generous.
It looks like his first 4 out and last 4 in are kind of flip-flop from Lenardi. Because he has Kentucky, Clemson, and Wisconsin last 4 out.
Yeah.
Or first 4 out, sorry.
Yeah.
What's he got Illinois at, a 7? Sick. He has him as a 6, too.
Northwestern is an 8.
When was this from? The 14th. So he's a few days late.
It's the day before Northwestern won, so they're probably up now. But anyway, yeah, the Big Ten's probably going to get. They deserve to get 6 or 7, but they're going to get 8.
Yeah, seems like
stupid.
Good shot at getting 8. So, all right, let's finish this thing up.
Unfortunate. Big Ten doesn't deserve anything. It's embarrassing. Conference sucks this year. If you're looking for anything to do on a Friday night, tune into TNT of the Rising Stars event, the NBA All-Star Game. You get Darren Williams coaching a squad and Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets was injured, so Ayo Dosunmu steps in. He'll be on Darren Williams' squad tonight, so check that out. I don't really know what the format is, but they'll be out there doing stuff, right? So boom.
Yeah, I don't watch NBA or All-Star games, so sure.
Yep. All right.
Monday is the game, right? I don't know. I'm leaving this weekend, so we got to figure out when we're going to do the show.
All right. We'll figure it out.
We'll let you know.
Illinois loses by 40 tomorrow, but it is what it is. It just has to be that way. So,
ouch. Shout out to my brother, too. He's playing for the regional championships, Mount Pulaski girls. Good luck tonight, brother. If anybody cares, you can go watch some good girls basketball in Mount Pulaski tonight. So,
be more people watching that than the Rising Stars. All right.
I agree. See you, Zach. Have a good one. Go
and we'll see everybody next time for episode 148. Goodbye.